Hello and welcome back to Cub Correctional and, of course, Prison Architect. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Today we are jumping in and fixing a reasonably large mistake that I made in the last episode. And that, of course, is the fact that narcotic searches are actually performed by dog handlers and not prison guards. So that's my bad. In order to fix that, I believe someone else in the comments mentioned that I am actually not limited to this many doggos. This is just how many doggos can rest at once. So that is absolutely fine. I mean, if we have currently 4 dog patrols. I would like to do a night patrol around the perimeter as well. But I believe we can hire a bunch more dog handlers. I'm going to go up to, I don't know, 16 for now. We currently have 10 crates. I think that will be fine, and that should, in theory, yeah, there we go. 7 doing jobs. Yeah, that narcotic search should go much quicker now. The other thing we can do is absolutely fire some of our guards because we currently have 63 available, and that seems a little bit ridiculous. I'm going to go down to at least 50 and see how that goes, and then we'll take it from there. That's 51. That's 50 guards. We still have 37 available. That's quite a lot, so I'm going to get rid of 10 more. I didn't actually see that number before. Somehow I always miss it by 1. There we go. That's 25 guards available. That seems a lot more reasonable. And you can see this narcotic search is now going so much faster. The next thing I want to set up, as recommended by you guys, is a patrol around our outside border. Just this top section, I think. We might end up going all the way down to here, but that should be fine. So I'm going to jump into a quick little bit of a time lapse as I set up that patrol, and we will go from there. So we'll be back in a little bit. And we'll bring it all the way down to here just in case. But for this, we want to set up a brand new deployment time block. So if we jump into our regime here, we can see that we have everyone sleeping from 10 p.m. until 3 a.m. So we're going to go into the red here and say 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. is when I would like to have dog handlers on this patrol. And I'm going to assign 3 because this is a reasonably large patrol. Hopefully that is enough. But that'll just mean our dog handlers will go out of a nighttime. I believe I did that correctly. Let me just double check that that is in fact true. Yes, they only show up during the red zone, which is exactly what I want. So we should have dogs patrolling the perimeter of our prison during the night, making sure that no one is doing any tunneling out of our prison, which is absolutely fantastic. Also, adding in this second boat dock seems to fix this issue. I haven't seen any boats get stuck since we've made that upgrade, and it looks like we kind of needed it anyway. There's pretty much always a boat in one of these, if not a boat in both, so I'm pretty happy that we did that. I also just wanted to come down and check our power situation. It looks like we are still doing just fine. We currently have 2,300 excess units, so no worries there. And you can see these narcotic searches going so much faster. We potentially could even use more dog handlers, but it looks like we've got 10 available, so that's probably unnecessary. They are all just sort of hanging around for the moment. We only have 4 doing jobs, even though this narcotic search is happening right about now. And for some reason, the game started playing music. What is that about? I've never heard music in this game before in my life. That's so weird. This game generally only has music during the... You guys probably won't hear it because I'll mute it because I add my own music afterwards. But that is so strange. And it's finished. I don't know what that was about. Oh, I think I know what that was about. Maybe that's music for the workouts down here? That is really interesting. Yeah, everyone's just dancing, chilling out to this boombox. I did not realize that that played through the game. I might not mute it. I might mute my music while that's happening, if I can remember. But I would like to be able to turn that off because that doesn't really work for my recording style, but it is what it is. Hopefully it doesn't happen that often, but you can see all our prisoners down here doing their workouts in the yard as leaded by, I think someone's leading this. I don't know who, but there they go. Absolutely fantastic. All right. We still have a little bit of an issue with no free cells for prisoners. Currently it's only 4 of them. We're kind of just ignoring it for the moment, and we're going to call that fine. But the next thing I want to get on with is building out these rooms here and getting our reform up and running even a little bit better. So we're going to jump into a time lapse as I furnish these all out, and we'll be back in a little bit. And with that all set up, I think this is all correct. The only thing I'm not 100% sure about is the shop itself, whether this needs to be a designated room or not. But I had a look in the quick build here, and if I just throw this down, it doesn't look like this requires anything. There are some snack machines in here, which honestly isn't a bad idea. But we should be able to... How do I cancel this now? Is that just planning? No. That is... Maybe it is just planning. How do I get rid of that? Get rid of it. There we go. It is now gone. I think maybe some snack machines is not such a silly idea in here. We kind of have the room for it. Maybe a snack machine, and we have another one here somewhere. Cigarette machine? That's not such a silly idea. I don't mind if my prisoners smoke. That'll be fine. So that is all complete, barring the workshop. But now we just need to go into our deployment tab and say, this is all now shared, which is fantastic. And then we can go ahead, and none of these require door servos. The office can also be shared. I think that's fine. But what we need to do now is figure out our schedule a little bit. So to do that, I think I wanted one more psychologist to be in this office here. And hopefully they go in there. They don't. Okay. Sack you, because you're not going to go in there. Why not? Why can't I get a psychologist in here? I can, but they refuse to take this office. Okay. Because we have a psychologist's office down here somewhere. Psychologist's office. This should have everything required for a psychologist to work in, unless it needs to be staff only. Let's try that one more time. Nope. Does that assign him to a different office down here? Yeah, it does. Okay. Let's try one last thing here. That's a little bit annoying. I would like to remove all 3 of these offices because they aren't claimed just yet, and then we can go back into staff, say hire a psychologist, and now it's a psychologist's office. Now we can go back into deployment. I don't know that the shared thing actually helped at all, and then I'll just make sure that I redesignate these 3 as officers in case we hire someone and forget later on. The mail room is going to require some prison labor, so I'm thinking we do, I don't know, let's just max it out with 5. We have 103 qualified people for that. That'll be fine. We'll also put 5 people working in the shop. This is going to, however, require another deployment schedule. So I want a schedule from 9. Does this overwrite the green? Because what is currently the green? I think that's the canteen. No, it doesn't override it. Oh, maybe it's not the canteen at all. Can anyone remember what this green was? Was it for visitation? I think it was, yeah. Okay, so visitation is also going to need to be blue, so that's fine. We can figure that out later. But for this, I need it to go until 12, and then starting at 3 for another 4 hours. That is going to be where I have guards assigned to the mailroom. There we go. And to the shop itself. And we'll throw one in. The classroom should be fine by itself. Eventually we'll put one in the workshop. I would also like one in the kitchen. And in that, I think that's it. I think that is it in terms of work/free time where I need people to be deployed. But we do just need to make sure we go back in and also add 2 guards into our visitation because that is currently not there. And now we should have everything set up and ready to go for this. The last thing that we require is to go to edit schedule here. And we can see we now have, if I can find it, 2 classrooms, which is fantastic because that means we can do a couple of more programs, which is going to be 3 strikes training. General education qualification is one that I definitely want to be running. And that's pretty much going to be the only thing running in that. We could potentially run it twice and have one be for our MinSec and MediumSec, but I, at this point, don't think that is going to be necessary. I am, however, considering moving this 3 strikes training to here. So if I just move it to there for the moment, put this back here, and put that 3 strikes training there, that might work out a little bit better because no one's going to want to do general education qualification and foundation education program at the same time because I believe you need to have passed this one in order to do that one. So I think that should work pretty well. We can also throw in behavioral therapy in the shared office. This is the psychologist's office. And I think that'll be fine. I might actually add 3 of those just so that they're actually, let's add 4 and that'll be fine. I believe this is, yeah, psychologist in an office. And this is one-on-one sessions. We have 15 people in the queue. So I think running that 4 times a day is going to give this psychologist something to do. So that should work out quite nicely. The next thing I think we'll end up working on is indeed this workshop and then figuring out some more stuff for down here. But for now, I'm just going to let this game run for a little bit. Make sure this is all working the way that I want it to. I also kind of want to put some CCTV down in the shop. And yeah, mostly just in the shop. So we'll throw one there. We'll throw one in the mailroom as well. And then I don't think we really need one in the classroom, but we'll add one in anyway. And that'll be fine. We just need to wait for those to build and we'll go ahead and wire them up, make sure they're pointing in the right direction and see how that goes. So I'll get all that done, watch this and make sure that it is working the way that I intended it to. And I'll probably also add in some floors while we're here and then we'll be right back. Okay, that's not going to work at all. The reason that is not going to work is because we currently have 10 CCTV cameras and only 8 maximum connections. So we're going to have to ditch some of these, and honestly, it'll probably end up being the mailroom and the classroom. Actually, we'll leave the classroom and I'll take out the one in the shop as well because we do have a guard stationed in here while they are working. And it looks like this is working the way that it's supposed to, with people coming in and buying their goods and then leaving. We don't need to designate this as a room. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and scroll all the way to the bottom of objects, dismantle that CCTV and that CCTV because we do also have staff in here while they are working. So that should be fine. And then we'll hook this one up to the monitor. So we'll be back as I get that done, put in the floors and make sure everything is working. Okay, with that, it looks like everything is working pretty nicely in here. I haven't seen anyone in this classroom just yet. I believe if we have a look, this is the new classroom. That's the general education qualification. We do have people signed up for it. Might just wait until 9 a.m. and then we'll double check that that is actually working because I haven't seen anyone out there. We do have some doggos patrolling the perimeter, which is fantastic. That is working the way that I wanted it to. We should be able to see anyone trying to tunnel out through there. The next thing I want to address is another comment we got on episode 6, which is that I don't think we're actually feeding all of our prisoners. We don't really have problems with it because we only have one prisoner that's furious that they can't get this mead. They can't meet this need. But because we have 3 meal times for our minimum and medium security prisoners and 2 for our high security, I think everyone is eating. They're just not eating all of the meals that we're providing to them. So you can see here we don't really have enough meals. I'm not 100% sure. I think we're getting away with it, but I think this kitchen could definitely use some expansion, maybe some more cooks, and then we can potentially get more food out the door. We could also potentially lower the quantity and quality of our meals, but yes, this is currently working, although they don't have a teacher. There they are. So this is working, which is absolutely fantastic. Let's go ahead and increase the size of this kitchen. Now, someone mentioned that there is a tool online that I'm going to look up real quick because I don't remember where it was, but you guys are currently looking at a paused version of the game, which is not fantastic, but I think it'll be fine. Maybe it was on Discord, actually, that someone said that to me. But it's a little tool that I'll down in the description to calculate how many things you need in your kitchen in order to get it working. So I believe it was in general chat, and this is a great reason why you guys should join the Discord. Lots of little helpful things like that. So I'm going to pause for a sec. I'll bring up the tool and we'll be back in a sec. So it is prisoncalc.voidtech.de/cooking. And this just lets you figure out how many prisoners you need in order to do your things. So if I jump back into Prison Architect here, you can see that we have 107 prisoners potentially, but we're feeding them like half at a time. So we technically only need to feed 60 people at once, I believe. I'm not 100% sure if that's how that works or not. We're going to go for the full number, which was 107. 107 prisoners. We are doing high quantity and high variety. And we are technically doing 3 meals a day, but because everyone's not eating at the same time, I'm going to drop this down to 2. Our max sec, which is our biggest population, is only getting 2 meals a day. We hit submit and we see that we need 13 cooks, 11 cookers, 22 fridges, which is insane. So double the amount of fridges to cookers, 4 sinks and 1 bin, which seems a little bit ridiculous. If we drop this down to like 60 and go up to 3, then we only need 8, 6, and 12. I think this is what I'm going to aim for and see how it goes, but we'll see what happens. So we jump back into the game and we go for kitchen objects. We only have currently 3 fridges. I think I can fit another one in there, and I don't know if this works, but we're going to give it a go. And then we can add a cooker in there. Go cookers down the middle, and let's try our luck at adding a fridge there. I don't know if that will be blocked or not, but we'll give it a go, and then we can potentially add, actually let's do that and remove that cooker. I think that should work, but we'll see. And then in terms of staff, we currently only have 2 cooks, so let's go ahead and raise that up to 6. I believe this recommended 8 cooks, but we also do have prison labor in here, so we might be okay. We are going to need power for all this, but this should all just automatically connect. We also might not quite have enough sinks for this to completely work. And you know what? Let's remove those. Yeah, let's do this instead. Let's throw in a sink back here. Let's get like, I don't know, like a little table for the corner, just so that it fills it out a little bit. And then we'll go for another fridge here instead and see how that goes. I think that's correct. I think that's correct. We'll see. And hopefully that'll be all right. That will mean we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cookers and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fridges, which isn't too bad. We also have had a death today. It's not going to show me where. Oh, there they are. If we go to the prisoner, they were killed for being a snitch. That is unfortunate. I can't quite keep up with everyone who is a snitch, but you know, these things happen. So these are all in. Hopefully we now see all of our prisoners being fed just that little bit better. We will need to, of course, connect this other sink up to our water grid, and we can do that just like that. That should be fine. And it is definitely a tight kitchen. We could potentially add another cooker and or fridge at the end of these 2 stacks as well, if we need it. But I'm hoping this will be enough. It looks like we are getting a lot closer to actually being able to feed all of our prisoners, which is fantastic. We should definitely be trying to do that. But in terms of our needs and danger levels, everything is really being looked after quite nicely. Even our luxuries, now that we have that shop, everything looks fantastic. Everything seems to be working really quite well, and I'm really quite pleased with how this prison is running so far. Can we hurry up and get this done, please? It's like the one thing I need you to do relatively urgently. It also looks like our infirmary and morgue are keeping up. But yeah, I think we're doing all right. Also, we have so many traits on our maximum security prisoners. I don't see anyone who is... Oh, we have a cop killer. I don't see anyone who's like ex-law enforcement or snitch. We definitely probably have some. We have extremely strong. Yeah, I think we're okay. I think we're okay. The dealer down here. Yeah, I think we're all right. So let's keep an eye on our prisoners versus our meals and see how this goes. Hopefully we are a little bit better. So I'm going to jump into a time lapse as I watch this for just a day or two and make sure that we are actually keeping up with our prisoner demand for food. If we're not, we can go ahead and lower our food grades so that we can get more food out the door quicker. And I think that will solve the problem. But it is now eat time. Feed all prisoners. Looks like we're going to keep up. Looks like we have meals for everyone. So that is absolutely fantastic. We just need to hope that they all eat. I'm not 100% sure that we even have enough tables and chairs, but I think we're okay. I think we're okay. We're switching over. Prisoners are now eating. Perfect. It looks like it's all running as smooth as I could potentially hope for it to be. What is happening down here? How did you guys get out here? You guys should not be out here. We need this to be... How did you get out? This should be staff only. That's fine. This is technically shared. Is that how that's doing things? This should be secure out here. Like you shouldn't be doing that. How did you get out? And where are you going? They're all in handcuffs. Is this just how we're bringing people in now? Oh, that's definitely not how I want people being brought in. Let's fix that. I believe we can fix that as access only there. And this, I guess, can be shared. This is shared. Access only. Let's see if that solves that problem instead of people coming down, because that's not good. If that's the way we're getting into the prison, that seems terribly inefficient. And we're still bringing people this way. That person goes in there. Like, our visitors are literally walking through our entire prison to get to here. Oh, hold on. Hold on. This is shared. Let's make this not access only. This is... How do I remove that? There we go. That's shared. That's shared. I don't particularly want prisoners down here, but, you know, it is what it is. at the end of the day, if that's how we have to do it. Unless you guys have any better solutions in the comments, I will definitely listen. I always read all of the comments that you guys leave, which is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, let's just do a quick little time lapse of this entrance and see if everything is working. Why are you going that way? Why are you going that way? Okay, I'm going to do a time lapse. Hopefully this fixes itself after everyone realizes that they can actually come in here. That's really weird. That is really strange. We'll be back in a little bit. Okay, that seems to be working out just a little bit better. I ended up making this section visitor only. I also ended up locking this door because we really don't need anyone coming in or out through that door just yet. And that seems to be working. Before we jump into the workshop, I do just want to check our room quality around this area. So this is a 10 out of 10 because it has the water cooler. This one over here does also have a water cooler. But I think it is actually losing a grade just because... Actually, I don't know why. I don't know why this is losing a grade unless it is the CCTV. Decreases a canteen and common room grade. It shouldn't decrease the classroom grade, but I think it must be. I also want to move this over to this side because it is currently blocking the door. But otherwise, I think we are all up and running and ready to move on to our workshop. So let's go into another little time lapse as I get this workshop built out. Okay, again, I used that website to put in how many prisoners can actually work in here, how many hours they're going to be working, and what they would require in order to do that. And it spat out 4 saws, 8 presses, and 4 tables. So I'm hoping this works out quite nicely. I will also, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to dismantle the CCTV and clear the connections on that. Dismantle this. Actually, let's not dismantle it. Let's just move it because that's going to be easier. And we'll throw this down in the workshop so we can keep an eye down there. But we're also going to go into our blue deployment and say assign guards. And we're going to go 2 in the workshop just because I think that is probably a good idea. This table is also going to end up moving back a little bit because I definitely forgot that we are going to need metal detectors in here. So we'll have metal detectors by the door. That should be fine. Move those tables back. It'll be a little bit harder to get around in here, but I think it will still be absolutely fine. The last thing we are going to need in here is electrical cable for absolutely everything. So that can go there and that can go there, I believe. And then we can sell the utilities that aren't being used here. Sell that, and that should work out nicely. The only thing left to do is, oh, that's unfortunate. We're going to pause the game for a sec. Just going to connect this up real quick. That should go to there. It's saying that we have 10 active connections. That's just because I didn't connect these and for some reason it's not figuring it out. We can go ahead and fix that. If we just go into here, clear connections, and then connect, we can reconnect everything up. So that's 1 there. Okay, can you connect 1? Okay, we're going to go into utilities to do this instead. And we're going to go connect you to you, to you, to you, to you, to you, to you, oh, to you, to you, and to you. That should work. Let's just unpause the game, make sure that it is actually connected to all of the things. It is 8 and 8, so that's fine. This we are going to lock into position, and then we can jump into our deployment. Make sure this is set to shared. This is access only, which is fantastic. It means people won't wander down here unless they need to get to this area, so that should be fine. This is shared. Our guards are assigned. The only thing we need to do is go into prison labor and assign our prisoners down here. We do need to, of course, run the workshop safety induction / craftsmanship programs. So we'll go ahead and find that real quick. Carpentry, no, workshop safety induction. I think we can run one of those per day. That should be absolutely fine. We have 45 people interested. 46 people have already finished it. I'm assuming at a different prison, so that should be no problem at all. And let's get a move on. We'll do a quick little time lapse as we hopefully see some people start working in our workshop, bringing in even more money that we don't really need. So that should be good. We'll be back in a little bit. Coming into work time, we have Gordon coming down. It looks like they don't use these quite the way that I thought they would. I assumed they would stand to either side, but I mean, the fact that he can just stand on top of the other table is absolutely fine. They have one person working there for right now, but that is fine. We can definitely work with that for the moment. Looks like the rest of these are doing pretty well. We only have 5 jobs available in the kitchen. We can potentially just throw another person in there. That'll be fine. But our people are working. People are doing the things that we need them to. I also completely forgot to check out how that escape attempt happened. Does that show me anywhere down here? Last 7 days. That's a decent amount of contraband. Found, hidden. Yeah. I mean, it's not as bad as I thought it might be. It looks like we're finding a lot of stuff. So we should be okay. But it looks like it's not going to tell me how that escape happened, which is a little bit unfortunate. I don't think there's anything in here that will show me that either. I don't believe. So unless you guys know a way for me to go back and look at how they escaped, I imagine it was through here, through that tunnel. So let's go ahead and remove that tunnel. I don't know where it connects to. And that is probably a problem. But we do have tunnels being detected. I would imagine it's from this cell here, right? So if we just do a quick tunnel search and say custom search area, search in, I guess, that entire building, that'll be fine. We'll search that and see if they can find anything here. It looks like it might have been from up here. So foundations, remove tunnels, and I guess it's only going to let me do that part one. I thought there was a way to see like underground and remove the entire tunnel, but looks like that is where stuff was. There it is. There's the full tunnel. There is the full tunnel. So we'll go ahead and remove that tunnel. Make sure no one can escape out that way. And that should be good. I'm glad that I double checked that because that would have been a little bit embarrassing. But looks like we've got people working in the workshop, which is fantastic. We jump into our logistics. We only have 2 people working in there for right now. We've also had another death. Another death. Where's the dead person? There they are. Killed for being a snitch. Yeah. That'll do it every single time. We really need to get around to building our protective custody island at some point relatively soon. And you know what? To start that out, let's go ahead and research land expansion. We can also research tax relief. We have so much money. Let's just research like everything. We get legal, taser rollout, CCTV improvement, guard towers, and we'll come back once they've done some of this stuff and get the rest of it. Because we currently have $500,000 in the bank, we may as well go ahead and research the things that we can so that we can potentially use them in the future. But this has worked out better than I thought it might have. What I'm thinking, this is my thoughts. We do something, I'm just going to use walls for the moment to plan this out, but I'm thinking like a little flower garden down here. And then I'm thinking, what are the other programs that we can run that require rooms? Programming class is a computer lab. We could potentially put a computer lab like down in here somewhere. That might not be too bad. We did, I don't know how big this needs to be. I imagine that would probably be big enough. Gardening is a garden. So if we did something like flower bed and garden, like so, let's get rid of that wall there. Something like that, flower bed and garden. Then we can have animal therapy is a meeting room. So we need to put a meeting room down here as well. I did plan to do that, but I never got around to it. So I don't actually know where a good place for a meeting room would be. It could potentially be down here, to be honest, in this room. Split this up and use that for multiple things. I don't know what the original plan here was. It potentially was storage. But if anyone can remind me what I planned to do with this room, we also might need to consider adding in more security stuff, particularly the kennel. So that could be down there as well. But flower therapy is going to be like flower garden in here. I would also like carpentry stuff, but that's going to need carpenter's tables, which would require a separate workshop. We could potentially fit that in though. We did something like that as a secondary workshop. And then I believe there is like if we jump into rooms, forestry, yeah. Place to grow trees. Trees can be used to create products in the workshop to sell. So I'm thinking like any unused room down here can be a little forestry area. But that is going to have to wait until the next episode. So our research is currently being done. We'll get that slowly but surely completed. We're also researching our forestry labor and farming, which is fantastic. Legal is being researched, although I don't think we really need much of this. Permanent punishments and small cells, not really. But yeah, that is what's happening. Our reform is going pretty decently. Our average reoffending rate, we actually did that grant, is 25%, which is honestly fantastic. If we go ahead and look at our transfers, our prisoners actually, we have, let's just pause the game. 9 prisoners ready to transfer to medium security. We only have 3 cells available, but we can approve a couple of these guys. We have, I guess we're just going to approve as many as we can. So yeah, there are only 3 free cells in medium security. Do you want to transfer 3 prisoners to medium security? Yes, I do. I'm just going to double check that this number changes once we do that. Let's run the game, and it does. Perfect. So we have people transferring. That's fantastic. Our reform is down to 26%. Our grades are doing pretty well. The only one that's not fantastic is our average work experience grade. But I think once we get our flower gardens and like our crops and forestry area in, that should hopefully go up. Our valuation is currently sitting at $870,000. I believe we would also keep 571. So if we wanted to start a new prison, which I am not about to do, we would get, like $1.3 million to start that prison. But that is not something we're going to do in this series, I don't think. For right now, we're going to leave the episode there. In the next episode, we'll come back. We'll sort this out. We might potentially buy a new piece of land and start working on our protective custody section of the prison, and we will go from there. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you were enjoying the series, make sure to hit subscribe, leave a like, and a comment for the sake of engagement. Join the Discord if you haven't already. Little teaser, there are some pictures of my new baby puppy up on there, so go check that out if you haven't already. And until next time, as always, happy building, happy rioting. Bye, guys.